Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I apologize if it's a little bit echoey, but I am in a cave today. I'm finally hiking again. It's been a couple of weeks due to the Rona, but they're opening some trails back up out in Ventura County, so I'm in Simi Valley, hiking Chumash Trail, and if you've watched some of my videos before, I found this cave not too long ago, and it is my new favorite spot up here. So I'm up at the top of Chumash Trail in this cool cave, and I've got a first impressions video to do for you because my brother lent me a couple of knives to check out. I'm selling a couple of knives for him, and he's gotten a few new things since I last saw him. I've gotten a few new things since he last saw me, so he's borrowing my ProTech Mordax and my TRM Neutron to check those out, and I am borrowing this along with two other knives. But this is really cool. This is a Southern Grind Spider Monkey, and this is an exclusive that was a pretty limited run from what I understand. I don't remember the name off the top of my head of who did this exclusive, but it's a silver twill carbon fiber. After I talk about it in front of the camera for a few minutes, I'll flip the camera around and show you close up. But it's this really cool silver twill carbon, and it's got a black DLC coated S35VN blade. This one is numbered. This particular knife is number 48. I'm not sure how big the knife run was for that exclusive provider, but I think it was less than 100, if I'm remembering right. I'll find out those details, and when I do a full review on this, I'll be more specific about it. But the Spider Monkey as a knife in general has been something on my radar that I've wanted to try for quite a while. It's one of those knives that is different, but not weird. And it seems like a really cool company. They're US made, US based. They do really cool things that are super charitable with the proceeds they make from the knives. And I'm pretty sure it's what's his name? I'm not into country music. I'm gonna forget the name of the guy. Anyways, it's a country music singer, stars knife company, which is interesting. But yeah, this one is a drop point. Like I said, it's DLC coated. It's S35VN. This is the regular size Spider Monkey. I know they make, I think it's called the Bad Monkey as well. It's a bigger one that's a 4-inch blade. This one's 3.5. But yeah, this is a really cool little knife. On first impressions, it's ergonomically pretty good. It's not hot spotty. This finger cutout here is like perfect size for my hands. The ergos work pretty dang well for me. The texture on this carbon is nice. It's got just a little bit of like a milled texturing here towards the back, right where my fingertips want to land, which is nice. It's got some jimping up here that's a little more aggressive than I would prefer, but it's not tearing up my hand or anything. I don't mind it. It's also a little bit ramped where my thumb lands instead of just being flat with the profile of the blade. I like that. It gives me, in a saber grip, a nice comfortable position of where my finger ought to be. The grip is just big enough for me to get 4 fingers on. I do have hands on the smaller end. I'm usually in a medium, sometimes a large glove. But yeah, so for me, 4 fingers fit perfectly on here. If you've got bigger hands, this is going to be a small knife for you. Overall, it's funny, sometimes seeing knives in pictures, I feel like I get the scale a little bit wrong. This one I was close on, but it does feel a little smaller than I was expecting it to be before ever holding it. But yeah, really cool knife. The silver twill carbon on this is really, really cool. I've never owned a knife with silver twill carbon. Like I said, this one isn't mine, so I still don't own a knife with this material. I've owned plenty of regular carbon fiber knives, but this carbon is really well done. The scales are fit perfectly. To the liners, the liners aren't really milled. I see a couple of holes on the inside, but that looks to be, I guess it's not to secure the scales in, because the scales are secured with these screws. I'm not sure what those couple of holes are in there. Maybe it's just for balance or something, but the knife is very well balanced, and yeah, it seems really cool. I'm excited to put this in pocket a couple of times, see how it carries. I did see yesterday somebody put a bug out clip on one of these. I may try that because one of the reasons, frankly, why I've never actually pulled the trigger on a Spider Monkey is because I don't really like the clip aesthetically. Obviously, I'd never tried one in pocket. I generally prefer deep carry clips over standard clips. It's not a end-all be-all rule for me. It doesn't have to be a deep carry clip for me to like it. There's plenty of clips I like that aren't. But this one's also just like this weird stubby little thing that's kind of wide. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes in pocket. I haven't even slid this into a pocket yet. I just picked it up right before hopping on the trail. So let me get it in front of the camera. I'll show you the details on this a little bit, and yeah, let you check it out, and then I'll do a full review after I've had a chance to carry it, cut just a little bit with it. Since it's not mine, I'm not going to be rough on it or anything like that, but I will try it out on some cardboard, stuff of that nature, and we'll see how it performs. So yeah, I'll turn you around now. All right, so as you can see, this carbon fiber is really, really cool. I think this one was called like the Silver Barracuda version of the knife. Yeah, this is just not that common of a material. You do see colored carbon fiber here and there. I think some of it, frankly, kind of looks a little bit chintzy a lot of the time when I see carbon fiber with like red or blue in it. I'm not usually that into it. I do like materials like fat carbon or forged carbon with some color. I think can look cool. The only thing I've had that would even be remotely similar to this was lightning strike carbon fiber from Berg. I had a Berg Slim that had a lightning strike carbon, but that was regular carbon with like wire woven into it or something. This is just full-on silver twill carbon fiber. As you can see, there's just this little bit of milling here. I'm not sure if the light can really pick that up, but there's these ridges milled in to it back here. The material itself isn't super slick. It does have a little bit of texture to it. It's kind of a matte finish. It's not too slick, but that little bit of milling back here, I find, makes a ton of difference in hand, because that's right where my fingers kind of land, and I can really feel that there. This knife is using like spanner hardware instead of Torx. I'm not sure if it comes with the tool for that. If not, I'm sure it's probably relatively easy to get a spanner that fits that, but that is worth noting. I do prefer when people just use Torx bits or Torx hardware, because that's that's the tool that I have and that most people run on. I do think it's cool that the logo here, or the engraving, matches so well to the color of the carbon. Same with the lettering on the blade. Southern Grind USA. On this side just says S35VN, and it is numbered 48. Yeah, this DLC coating looks really nice as well. Like I said in front of the camera, the clip I'm not sold on yet. We'll see. Maybe it's great in pocket. I don't know. I do feel the clip just a little bit in my hand. Ergonomically, the tip of it lands like kind of right here. I would prefer for it to land right here, where my finger kind of, or my hand kind of makes a pocket for it. It's just a little bit far forward, so we'll see. I'll try it with this clip, and then I'll try throwing a bug out clip on it just for kicks and giggles, and see if that goes way better, because I'm a fan of the bug out clip in general. But yeah, first impressions on this knife are really solid. I'm excited that I get to try one out without buying one, because it's one that, like I said, I've just been interested in for so long, but it's never really been like the right deal or the right opportunity. I've almost bought one new a couple of times. I've almost traded for one a handful of times, but it's fun to be trying one out in a really cool spec. If I had bought one of my own, I probably would have gone just regular carbon fiber with the black blade, but I didn't even know this existed until my brother found it the other day, and he pulled the trigger on it. And yeah, so this looks probably, I would say, like the coolest version that there is. I'm pretty sure they have done a couple of other runs. I don't know if they were exclusives or sprints or what, but with other blade steels. S35VN is great. I like S35VN, but are there other steels I prefer? Yes, I've been over that. So not going to hold that against this knife. I think S35VN is a great EDC steel, absolutely. And from what I've heard, I haven't looked super deeply into it, but people seem to like Southern Grind and speak highly of it, so I'd imagine they're not botching the heat treat on that. Otherwise, I'd have heard about it by now. But yeah, this knife is cool. I like the size. It's a very good EDC size for me. It's just kind of like right in that mid-size knife. It's I don't usually do size comparisons, but I've got a PM2 on me right now. You can see the handle is quite a bit smaller than the PM2. Sorry for the sweat on that. It's just came up on the hike with me. But you get almost as much cutting edge, if not, it looks to me to be almost identical amounts of cutting edge. But the profile of these knives, when they're closed, I'd imagine this sucker's going to feel a lot smaller in pocket. And we'll see, maybe with a deep carry clip it'll be even better. But yeah, I'm gonna let you know once I've had this knife in pocket a few times, once I've carried it a fair bit, cut with it a little bit, and just kind of put it through some simple EDC paces, how it does. And I'm looking forward to doing that. If I love this knife enough, I might end up trying to convince my brother to trade me something for it, or let me trade him something for it, I should say. We'll see. Time will tell. But this will be a fun little test drive, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for checking it out.